Hello, I'm Superintendent Christopher Flanagan of the Radnor Township Police Department. I'm very excited to be sitting next to a famous local author, Nahjee Grant. And in fact, his books are being celebrated all across our community, and specifically here in Radnor, where we're reading it during Police Week because of the very positive community impact that it's making. I'd like to introduce my guest and local celebrity, Nahjee Grant, who I also consider a friend as well.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me on.
Very good. Nahjee, the audience probably would be excited to know about your local connection to our community, Lower Merion, and some other things. And I was wondering if we could just lay that pathway out and then talk about specifically the book that we're reading for Police Week. So would you mind just telling us a little bit about yourself and how you're connected to the Radnor Lower Merion community?
Oh, sure. So I thank you again for having me on. So I'm from Ardmore, born and bred in Ardmore, Lower Merion, and I've been a community organizer going on over 10 years now, getting involved in local politics, community organizing, hosting book drives, food drives, all across Lower Merion and beyond, and you were helpful over the past couple of years with that. Separate than that, I'm also a children's author, about 14 children's books now, and one in particular, the book that you have in front of you, the Aaron and the Police Get Back to the Community book that we finished back in January, but we started writing the book back at the height of the George Floyd incident back last summer.
Wow, so not only locally raised, food drives, I believe book bag drives, you forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
You've done book bag drives, and you're telling me you've accomplished 14 books.
About 14. I stopped counting after 10, honestly.
Well, that's very impressive. That really is impressive. So we're lucky to have people like you in the community. Wanted to kind of dial in on Aaron, the Police Give Back to the Community, which is a book that we're promoting here in Radnor Township because I think it has such a great message. But could you tell me just a little bit more about what you think this book means and why it was created the way it was?
Yeah, so we always talk about, a lot of people just talk about the problems and the issues, right? Especially when you're dealing with police and how police deal with people of color in communities. I said, well, how can I be involved, especially like last summer with the George Floyd incident, everyone's protesting and has an opinion on what's going on one way or another. For me, can I create a story that brings the police and the community together, as opposed to having an issue or an opinion one side or another, cops are good, cops are bad, so I decided to just put the pen to the paper last summer and create this story, just to, pretty much when I were in the lockdown, just in my own zone, writing a story. And then I said, you know what, I think this can actually be a good story, to publish. And over the last fall, we focused on the illustrations with a very, very talented illustrator out of California. Her name is Trinity Rakowski. She's actually only 16 years old. Wow. And, we put the book together, finished it, published it in January, and now, thankfully, the book is being used actually all across the country, actually, with police using the book, like you're using the book for Police Week, reading the book to kids, and actually kids are actually asking questions about how they can get involved in the community, whether it's with the police, and also just asking questions about community organizing, and it's been a very positive impact so far. I'm happy for that.
I think to highlight your statement of a positive impact, this is more than a story book. This has a message to our youth about taking on challenges, taking on a community, taking on issues of knowing the police, getting to know people, and the diversities in our great towns that we have, and then funneling that into good. Because a book drive, they talk about a book drive, a toy drive, and some other things were positive outlets for children to get involved in. So I think that's important to shape them in the beginning of life. Then we tie in the police and other community agencies that may be doing it. Obviously, the library and other ones were involved in the book drive. in the story, and it just lays out positive messaging in a way to make a difference in your community. And I think it's excellent, so I congratulate you on the timeliness, but delivering it in a way that kids can digest it, wrap their heads around it, but not just leave and say, hey, this was a nice story. Take the message that's within the book, very well illustrated. It shows all kinds of different children, tall, short, different colors, everything. I think it's great. Same with the police. It shows the dynamics of the different diversities in the police departments, and bringing it out into the community and working together so that we know each other, we know how to talk to one another, and besides for doing that, we can fill voids. If there's not enough books, or kids need toys, or it's a food drive, there's so many opportunities. And it's not a one-size-fits-all. You're not saying just do one thing. They show a whole bunch of different things the children are doing in the book at the particular time, and I think that gives people the ability to address issues that may be different on their street versus another block or another neighborhood. So I think it was an excellent way for us to give a positive example to the children in Radnor. And obviously you're saying people are buying it all over the place, across the country, so this message is getting out, and I think that's awesome.
Well, I appreciate everything that you just said wholeheartedly, and just to add to that, the things that they're doing in the book are real. Like, as we work together, right, in the past, right, like for our food drive.
Yep.
Right, so whether it's the food drive, the book drive, anything that's in the book, like I did those things personally with police over the past couple of years, whether it was with Radnor, whether it was with Lowell Marion. So I brought those real life events into the book. So when people ask me, like, are you Aaron? Like, no, I'm not Aaron, right? The character in the book, but I embodied the things that I do or have done in the past, working with the police in the story. So it's realistic fiction, so to say, in the book.
And I think it's great that you're taking your personal experiences and putting it in writing, because and for our local residents, even though this book is written for everybody in the United States and beyond, that it is a local passion and things that you've not only accomplished, but you've helped others at the back end of it. So although you did the journey, there's, when we saw the book bags that you brought the one time to Highland Avenue, the smiles and the happiness and the help that gave people and the inspiration to do better in school because they don't have to worry about whether they have a pencil or a book bag, I think is not just a heartwarming story, it's setting the tone for betterment in our communities in the future. And that's why, I jumped at getting this. You told me you were working on it and we were waiting patiently.
Right.
And it's crazy how the timing of its delivery was right after the situations that occurred throughout the United States, and specifically George Floyd and other things where protests and other community demonstrations, whatever they may be for, it shows how we can also have positive lights and jump on positive relationships. Local government, police, and community all can work together to do good, even if there are challenges that we have to get through.
Absolutely. And also, if I add, can I just add? One of the things that I thought was also a positive, I know you read the book, was the action that was taken. Right? Like when in the book, when Aaron sees what's going on in the community, he wants to say, how can I help? Like, what can I do? Right? And then you see his father aid him into doing that, driving him to the police station, helping him with his tie, right? When he were interviewed for the police. Like, that's the same thing that my mom did as well. Like, again, because I'm embodying like the things that happened to me in real life, to where instead of, seeing what's going on TV and then having an opinion and just going, online or, within your own little circle of community, arguing about things that's going on, how can I get involved in the community and make a difference? And that's the biggest thing for me personally that I want for people to take away from that book is, no matter how old you are, you can make a difference, right? Aaron is, he's 12 years old, right? Doesn't say in the book, but he's 12 in all the books. Like, he's making a difference in the community, no matter how old you are. And that's one of the biggest things that I wanted to take away from the book, and that's the biggest message when I was writing the book. Like, what am I getting across in this book, right? So, to add your point, I know you read the book, but that's the message that I wanted to give when I was writing the book. No matter how old you are, background, color, no matter what community, that you can make a difference.
Well, I don't think I can really add to that, but I will pull one piece out of that I think, as an adult, when I sit back and realize that there are positive things and things that we should look for, this messaging to the children is just, it's phenomenal, as we've celebrated already, but I think that adults could take a look at this and realize we can do positive things as well and make change no matter who you are or how young you are. So on the adult side of that, and what you said about our great children in this area and across the country, frankly, that this is just a book to pay attention to, frankly.
Appreciate you.
And look at it. Like the audience to know a little bit more about you. Since you've written some of those other books, could you just tell us about a couple of the other books you've written?
Sure. So we have Aaron and the Police Get Back to the Community. That's the third book in the Aaron's Adventure series. There's another book called Aaron Goes to the White House Science Fair. That's a book where the title character creates an invention, which is the time machine, and he gets to go to the White House to present that book to then President Barack Obama. And then throughout the story, he gets to go back in time, back and forth through time with the president. So and he gets to meet different inventors who inspired him to become a young scientist himself. So it represents past, present, and future. Then there's another book, same title, called Aaron Runs for Class President, because once he gets back from the White House, he gets inspired to run for class president, to be the first elected class president, like Barack Obama was the first black president of the United States. And then there's, Believing Yourself, A Mirror of Hope, which is a book about a young woman with cancer, who was inspired by my late cousin who passed away to cancer a couple of years ago. She was from Lower Merion, from Radnor. So all the books are inspirational and motivating, in my opinion, and based off of somewhat real life things that I've gone through. And I just try to pull that into a motivating story for kids, and hopefully that people enjoy it.
Well, that's excellent. If somebody from our audience, because some of them are great books, and I read the one about Aaron going to the White House. I actually like that one. It's a great storyline and very inspirational. How could they get a hold of your books?
You can go to either to my website, NahjeeGrant.com, NAHJEE Grant.com, or CoolSmartKid.com.
CoolSmartKid.com. Well, it's been a big honor to have Nahjee Grant, a local celebrity now and author, but actually a friend and somebody who cares about our community. And it's been a pleasure to have you. This book is making a difference, and the Radnor Police are very proud to read it. We're going to be donating this to the Radnor Township Library, the Highland Homes Community Center, which is a small community group that meets and has a lot of children come together in the basement of the Highland Homes and a couple other facilities. We also do a reading program with the Episcopal Church where we go out to different parks and read, and this is now going to be part of the books that we read. This summer series is usually when we do it in the summer when a lot of children are off from school. So this has really given us something positive to deliver. I'm proud to know you as a friend.
Appreciate you.
And I look forward to your next book.
Thank you. Next time you'll be the character in the book.
Okay. Okay. Don't make me too fat, all right? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a safe day.